I thought it was Royal Albert Hall pub or something. I had to really check this 4 times. And then to be told a week before the actual booking, you're at Royal Albert Hall, it's next week, you've got to turn up and you've got to go on stage with Michael Jackson. I think, well, someone's pulling my leg here.
So what actually happened then? What was it? What was the gig like?
We all went down there on the whim thinking this is one big wind up. But when you get to the front door into the staff access building, and when you get the wristband, you think, actually, hang on a minute, I'm about to do the Royal Albert Hall here. I felt like I was dreaming. You couldn't really put it into words.
Exactly. I mean, how does a gig like that come about? I mean, it's not something that happens every day, I'm sure.
So the Albert Hall, I was booked pretty much last minute. The dance crew who booked me is called P Square. They're a big Nigerian dancing, singing troupe. They contacted me because they both started off being Michael Jackson tribute acts, I believe. So they wanted me to warm up the crowd and get the crowd going. I thought, there's a couple of people out there, Royal Albert Hall, okay, yeah, sure, Royal Albert Hall. And then when I walked out there was about, I'd say over 10,000 people waiting for me to hit the spacebar.
Absolutely. I mean, it must have been a dream gig. And I've watched you in action. I've been to your gigs. And you look like Michael Jackson. You sound like Michael Jackson. You dance like Michael Jackson. How, I mean, it must have took so much practice.
Yeah, I mean, it took a lot of practice, but Michael Jackson's band have recorded the entire show for me. What I did was I recorded myself dancing as Michael Jackson and tailored the music around that. So every sound, snap, click, whatever it is, responds to my body. So that's probably why it comes across as pretty much I am not only just Michael Jackson, but I'm also the music, the dance, the everything. So to study that, again, I go through all the tapes. I went through Michael Jackson's tapes and pretty much saw him angry, not angry, sad, laughing, every single emotion you can get out of this guy. Because you not only got you look like Michael Jackson, you got to walk like him, you got to talk like him, you got to sing like him, you got to be Michael Jackson for that night until you get the wet wipe and take it all off. From then to start to finish, the accent, the singing, the everything.
Oh yeah, I mean the first time I met you, you were in full costume, and then a few months later, we was at another gig, and I knew you was on the bill, and I was talking to you backstage, and I didn't even realise it was you.
Out of makeup, you know me, I've got ginger hair and glasses.
Exactly, and all of a sudden you transform. How long does it take you to do your makeup?
Takes me about an hour and a half comfortably to get made up. I used to have an old makeup process which took 3.5 hours, but I went over to a professional makeup artist in Bury St Edmunds, and now we've perfected the makeup lines and everything. So now it takes me about an hour and a half to get the makeup on the face done. Then it takes about another half an hour for the hairstyle to go on, because without the wig, you won't see Michael Jackson until that final piece goes on. Then the accent starts coming out, the character starts coming out. It's not only just makeup that goes into it. You've got to have a mental state as well to get into the mental state of Michael Jackson. You've really got to convince yourself before you convince the audience that you are going to be Michael Jackson tonight. Forget Edward, you're looking at Michael Jackson.
Oh, indeed. I know you work very, very, very hard at your show, and you are, as I know, the only Michael Jackson worldwide to be endorsed by the Jackson family themselves, and I know you're friends with the Jackson family as well. And I also know at one point you actually got to speak to the biggest pop star in the world.
He is the biggest pop star in the world, but he doesn't like to think he is. When you speak to him on the phone, he pretty much wants to know everything that you're doing. He even asks your name and what do you do for a living, and he's more interested in you than you are interested in him. It's very bizarre. You kind of think when you're speaking on the phone to him, it's like one big wind up. He's got much deeper voice on the phone. He's not high pitched. He's pretty much, it's very bizarre. But yeah, speaking to him on the phone is no easy ride. But yeah.
Now, Michael Jackson is still popular worldwide and continues to, there's a demand for Michael Jackson. So obviously you are fulfilling that need. Do you have any gigs coming up? Is there a website we can visit to find out where you're playing?
Yes, so the two websites we have available at the moment is goldmanagement.org, and for news and information about Simply Jackson, it's www.simplyjackson.co.uk.
Brilliant. Thank you for joining me today. And finally, I must just ask you one last question. What do you love about living in Suffolk?
To be honest with you, I'm proud to be Suffolk based because Suffolk's always been my home. It always has been, always will be. Pardon the pun that I hang my hat up in Suffolk, because I really do enjoy the people of Suffolk, and it really has got a lot of talent and a lot of musician talent as well. I just admire Suffolk so much. It's such a great place to live. It's just nice. It's peaceful. It's a place to get away. It's just home.